Good morning, good afternoon and good day everybody. David here, and in today's video I'm sort of just going to cover my experience of the new Beyond Light sandbox and just give you my impressions so far. So we're going to be looking at the Stasis in general, some of the problems that it brings to the crucible, and as you probably have already noticed yourself, there's a fair few problems it brings, but also we're going to cover the good things I think it brings. We're then going to move on to more weapon focused topics. We're covering what's viable, what's not, covering different archetypes, as well as my experience using different things. And then finally we'll discuss what we want to happen in the future, what Bungie can do to balance things back out, and what we want to bring into the old classes as well. So with that long intro out of the way, let's jump into the video. So, Stasis. The problems straight up front, I think we all know the Warlock is the biggest problem. Currently the Warlock's melee is just too powerful. The ease of use that melee has to the power ratio is just too much. That melee is stronger than some of the supers in the game. So I think that needs addressing a little bit, but it's not just the Warlock. I think the tracking grenades are a bit too strong. The grenades that pull you into the slow field, so the dusk field grenade, I think that's a little too strong. I feel the just general freeze effect lasts too long and is too hard to break out of. These are things that obviously other people have covered in detail, but I feel it's a good point to keep driving home. Like I said, the abilities in general are just a little too powerful. The abilities are stronger than some of the old class supers. I want the older subclasses to still be viable, but not only viable, but to have scenarios where they're actually stronger than Stasis, and then other scenarios where Stasis is stronger than them. Destiny, for me, is always supposed to be about creativity and your build as a whole being as strong as it possibly can be, and the diverse choice of abilities, supers, weapons and loadouts is what makes Destiny Destiny. So Stasis definitely needs reining in a little bit, but I can't stress enough that I don't want it to be overly nerfed. I think the best example is back when Nova Warp first came out, and that was really potent, and then that was like nerfed into the ground, and it took so long for it to even be a viable choice again. Yeah, I really don't want that to happen to the Warlock class or to any of the Stasis classes. But not to dwell too long on the problems, the good things and the positive things I think Stasis bring to the sandbox is I love the style and idea of it. I think the fundamental idea behind slowing people down in PvP is great, and the idea of freezing people and chaining together some like epic kills back to back is phenomenal, and like some of the filthy stuff you can currently do so much fun and make you feel so good making these epic plays that I don't want that to disappear. As I said, the slowing people down is probably my favourite thing, to be honest. The Hunter Shurikens I'm having so much fun with, slowing down shotgun rushes, or if I'm getting pushed by multiple people and you can slow one down, focus on the other. Just being able to take on those 1v2 or 1v3 scenarios just by using your abilities in conjunction with good cover and your weapon choices and stuff. I've been having so much fun in this current sandbox, more so than I've had in quite a long time with Destiny, to be honest. The freezing is awesome, but as I said before, everything needs just reining in just a tad, but I don't want them to go away completely. People wanting Stasis to be removed from the crucible, I really don't want that to happen. As I said, the fundamental idea is fantastic. I just think it needs balancing a bit. Then we're going to have such a fun and diverse PvP experience that I'm going to find it hard to ever put it down again. Now, moving on to the weapons. The weapon diversity in the Crucible is the best it's ever been. Everything seems viable. Hand cannons, pulse rifles, even scouts, auto rifles, they all have a place. And sure, some are stronger than others. You might have seen a lot of people using Ace of Spades and Sturm, and Gnawing Hunger is still potent, but they're like either exotics, which in my opinion should always be stronger, or they're very perk dependent. I've spent the past week or so trying out everything, and you'll see in this gameplay I'm using rapid fire scouts, I'm using sidearms, I'm using high impact, rapid fire, adaptive pulses, 140 hand cannons, 120 hand cannons, 180s, like 180 scouts, which were considered like the worst weapon in the game at some point. I've never felt at a disadvantage. With the recent changes to hand cannons, the recent buffs to scout rifle aim assist, and the recent nerf to snipers, they've just really helped, in my opinion, actually give us the most balanced Crucible experience in a long time, which seems ironic because of how obviously powerful Stasis is. Just on the weapons front, I have had an absolute blast trying out things that I haven't used in years. You've seen this gameplay. I was even using the Oxygen SR3, which, if you don't remember it, was a Vanguard pinnacle weapon, and it's a 180 scout that basically has Dragonfly. That's it. Like there's nothing really special about it, and even in PvE it was underwhelming. I'm pretty sure it was considered the worst gun in the game, and I absolutely slayed with it. I was having so much fun and getting so many kills with it. I was just giggling the whole time. It was absolutely ridiculous, but it wasn't like OP either. And then I was using 140 hand cannons and was doing just as well with them. High impact pulse rifles, including the new No Time to Explain, still having the same results. Like, this Sandbox has been weapon-wise the most enjoyment and the most diverse and the most fun Destiny's been for me in a very long time, and maybe even ever, and that's including Destiny 1. Snipers are still very much viable as well. The nerf wasn't too much, and in my experience is just the right amount. Like, I've not been sniped through flinch where the sniper had no right to kill me since the update, but I've also had times where I've either sniped people or they've sniped me straight off the back with a nice flick or whatever, and before they've been able to fight back. Snipers are definitely really strong, but also aren't overpowered to the stage where you just can't fight them. Fusion rifles are good. Since the 600 RPM autos have been brought back, I think fusions have been brought forward a bit. The charge time doesn't take too long that a 600 RPM auto is just going to melt you before you can even get your shots off. Same with SMGs. I've seen people using Huckleberry and Tie PD, and I myself have been using the Entire P and the Hero's Burden. Just weapons you haven't seen in such a long time, or maybe have never even heard of, and they're starting to come into play. As I said earlier, maybe not to the forefront. They're not going to be like everyone's going to be rocking the Hero's Burden in Trials or something, but if you did take it into a competitive scenario and you made it work with your loadout, you wouldn't be at a disadvantage. This really is the most diverse and most balanced Sandbox I think I've ever experienced, just on a weapons front. So what I want for the future of the Sandbox, what I want the future PvP experience to be, I really don't want the weapon balance to change at all. I'm scared for them to touch it now, as I've just spent ages saying it is in a really good place at the minute, so I don't want them to accidentally ruin anything. But as you know, and as I know, Stasis needs to be reined in a bit. It definitely dominates over all the other subclasses in the game, and as I said at the start of the video, your abilities are stronger than some other supers, and that's just not right. Hopefully it doesn't get overly nerfed. I want it to still be fun chaos that it currently is, but I also want to see the old subclasses still be in every match, still have people rocking Top Tree Dawnblade, and even though it kind of frustrates me, and I still want to see people use Middle Tree Titan Sentinel and Bottom Tree Gunslinger and all those things, and I want people to be successful using those things as well and still have a great time. I want the aspects and fragments concept brought to all the old subclasses, and I definitely think that will help bring them up to sort of the level Stasis is at. Again, Stasis does need reining back a bit, but I believe if Stasis is brought back just a tiny bit and the aspects and fragments thing is brought to the old subclasses, that would bring them forward enough that everything would be potent enough and viable, but also somehow balanced. So, sort of in summary, I think Destiny is the best when it is just chaotic and fun, but you can slay with a variety of weapons and a variety of subclasses, and everything just works in tandem, and your loadout as a whole is what makes you as deadly as can be, rather than just your melee ability or just your 600 RPM auto. So again, I've thoroughly enjoyed the chaos at the minute. I'm embracing Stasis as much as I can before it gets nerfed. Absolutely making the most out of the Hunter Shurikens and the Titan melee. Those things are hilarious. And I've been having a blast using them. I'm also going to keep using different weapon types, dig some really old favourites out of the vault, and make the most of them in case anything changes on the weapon sandbox front. But I really hope it doesn't. And I urge you to try out everything you can, whilst everything is in a sort of balanced state. But that should do it for the video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Hopefully this has encouraged you to dig out some old weapons you've not used in a while, some old favourites. And trust me, you will have a great time with them. If you have enjoyed the video, a like is very much appreciated. Please comment down below your thoughts of the current sandbox, problems you have with Stasis, or if you don't have any problems and think everything else just needs bringing up to how strong Stasis currently is, please just comment it all below. I love hearing from you guys and your thoughts. If you want more of my content, please remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell. It really helps me out, and it helps you out for when I upload a video so you don't miss anything. Also, please be free to join us over on Facebook where I stream. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. It'd be great to have you there. But in the meantime, take care, stay safe in this crazy world at the minute. Keep up the grind, keep having fun, and I shall hopefully see you all very soon. Bye bye.